Hello. Today is April 18th. We're zooming through April, as always. I mean, these months, it's so freaky how fast they go by. But a wonderful thing's happening where we're having spring here. So it's just starting, but we've had a couple of days of really warm, sunny. It's just fun to be outside. It's really nice. So anyway, I'm here and I'm waiting to see if anybody comes on. And in the meantime, I will read you more of my SP Declare, which is taking me forever to read because there you go. Chi, hey, it's so good to see you. And my microphone is working and it's amazing, Chi. She sent me a microphone. We had a little bit of trouble with the batteries, but thank you for sending me the right ones. And I am shocked. I can't wait to use it. It really carries. I'd seen some other ones that look like this one, and you hardly hear them. This one you definitely hear. It's going to be fun. So I think I'm going to try it out very soon. Hi, Kyle. Hello, Teresa. Make sure to let me know where you're from. Verity, hi. Chi, yay, I'm so happy to help to make your voice louder. I am too. I mean, it's really a big deal. That's a big deal for me. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm excited. And you, you loosen, okay. Love your streams. Thank you, Verity. Oh, saying hi to Casey. Okay, and Kate. Hi, Tori. I like listening to your SP Declare. I know it's so weird. It's just so weird because it's just completely made up stuff that I got paid. I didn't get paid. It's like, who did I get paid from? No, Gnomestead, My Alaska Life. All right. Hey, Deho, Tori Magoo. Yeah. And Sophie, hi, from New Zealand. I love that. All right. And Air Attacks, the stupid horse. I love that, Nick. That is so funny. Hi, Tori from Florida. It's late, but I did. Wait, I lost you. It's late, but I didn't want to miss you live. Okay, cool. And Kyle says, I wonder what would happen if we admitted in our audit that we listened to Magoo. It wouldn't be good. Yeah, if you're in Scientology, don't mention it. Because they'll just send you to ethics and they'll declare you PTS because I'm a suppressive person. I showed you the SP declare. And then you have to go through all these steps and it's not worth it. It really isn't, because I'm not saying anything that isn't true. If it isn't true, they should come over and talk to me. That's the way I feel. It's like if I'm saying something that isn't true, you should come over and talk to me and say, look, this isn't true, but they know it is true. So that's the thing. And it's like, that's why they won't come over and that's why they won't talk to us. Good morning, Sweden here. All right. Ex-Scientology. Nice to see you. Annette. All right. Sorry, I haven't had time to watch right now. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for stopping in. And Sophie says, hi, New Zealand loves you back, Tori. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. DOA has a black and blue eye. You're right. Somebody hit him the other night. I don't think it was last night, right? Was it last night? Anyway, I think we were on and somebody came on and said he got hit. He was assaulted while we were online. And that's true. They did. And I mean, there's a video on his site where it shows it. It's way at the end of last night's video. But I mean, God, he really, pushes the guy and, it broke his table and it broke his chair. But the police came and they were really nice to him. So that's good. And then tonight, Laura FM had a show that she did where she and Serge sang. Well, she sang and Serge did incredible stuff. I mean, I didn't know he was a dancer, so that was kind of cool. And then I guess DOA got swatted down there. They tried to, but they realized it was false. And it's the first time they've admitted it was false. It was a different area than Hollywood. And so Laura was really thanking them for that. Good SP Tori, you've been declared a wonderful person. All right, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. And she, oh, good SP. I know, that's very sweet. Thank you. That's better than being declared suppressive person. But I'm kind of proud of being an SP. It's such a big mountain to climb over, to leave and just know you're going to be declared an SP. And it seems so huge when you're in. It's just like, how could I possibly do that? You know, it's just going to be the end of my life and my world and everything. So then to actually make the leap and do it, it just, I mean, I would have never done it without Andreas. I wouldn't have. I spent 10 years stripping off the mind control. So I was waking up, but Andreas offered me the hand, and it really taught me, you know, you always, whenever someone's in need, offer them a hand, you know, because he said it was nothing to him. You know, he didn't see it as he was helping someone escape out of Scientology. He just thought, you know, I don't know what I'm doing on the internet, and he'll help me. That was it. That was all it was. But it was life changing for me. Do you see what I mean? So I always try to tell people that you never know when what you might do could change someone's life. And it can be just little things. Anyway, it's kind of neat. So I guess they tried to swat DOA tonight, but they realized it was false. So I don't know who called that in. I wonder who it could be. Tori, do you have Mr. Anonymous Andreas gave you? I absolutely do. I was talking to him last night. Here he is. Mr. Anonymous. There he is. The moose from the Norwegian lands high in the lands. Yeah, he's world famous. I was telling him that. I said, you got to keep it together, Mr. Anonymous, because he was kind of tipping over. I said, you can't do that. You got to keep it together because you're world famous now. So there you go. So that's Mr. Anonymous. Thank you for asking me, Artez, the stupid horse. How could you have come up with that name? That is so funny. That is really funny. You must have known a horse that was kind of stupid named Artex. But it's very funny. It really is. Anyway, thank you guys for your kind words. Thank you. So you can go to Laura FM and hear her show. You know, she and Serge. They're kind of, I think, kind of in the middle of it. You know, it's kind of a long show, but they're kind of in the middle. You know, you can just scoot it along until you see them and then listen to it. But it's cool. It's very cool. I saw videos of Andreas protesting, and he's so articulate and from the heart. I love how you just described how he helped you from such a pure motive. I know it just was so honest and simple and kind. And it, you know, and he really didn't think he was changing anybody's life at all. It wasn't like, well, I'll do this and then that'll change your life. She'll get out of Scientology. It wasn't like that. It was just like, let me offer you a hand. And, you know, he really, for a long time, it took him to get how big it was in my world. You know what I mean? It was a big deal. Loving the jewelry. Love you from Kentucky. All right, cool. I watched Laura's show tonight. Good. Yeah, me too. It was fun. It was a good show. I was really surprised about Serge. I did not know that. And both of them are good together. And she's doing another show. I think it's May 4th at the Viper Room, but you have to buy tickets for that. This one was free tonight, but you have to buy tickets for the Viper Room. So anyway, I'd probably go. I'd like to see it. It sounds good. I am going to tell her to get a moderator, though, because she didn't have a moderator there tonight. And those guys were coming on saying creepy stuff, and she doesn't need that. Okay, so Sophie, honest, simple, and kind, as always, the best option, in my opinion. Yes, exactly. And that was Andreas. I mean, he had a great deal of empathy, verity, and it can change everything. It's true. You know, it's like all these people pounded on him. Don't talk to her. She's Osa. She's this. She's that. And they didn't know me. They'd never met me. They'd never even talked to me. It was amazing to me to see how these people could just power on. And I knew, because I'd opened the phony accounts, I knew it was Yachty and Osa spreading that, right? See, because once they realized I was out of the, you know, the bird had flown the cage. And it was like, we gotta really dead agent this person. And that's what dead agenting is, just say awful things about him over and over and over until people go, okay, I don't want to talk to him. And people weren't. They wouldn't talk to me. And I escaped across the country, and they were telling Andreas, don't talk to her. Don't talk to her. You can't trust her, Andreas. And I remember reading him saying, look, I'm in Norway. I'm only writing. She can't hurt me. It was just so calm and sane. It was just amazing. Tori at the Viper Room. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny that people say that, because it's like I was in all that stuff years ago. Years ago, I was in all those things. Someone named Jen is out there with the group in front of La Poo tonight. Never saw her before. Think she's a friend of Laura from looking at her YouTube videos. Okay, Charles. And you're there too yourself. It sounds like. I know you live near there. Verity, is that a song? Oh, she's just asking someone. Okay. It was how, oh, what, where, how do you say the name now? Because your name on it says Artax, the stupid horse. But then you said it's how Atreyu yelled at his horse, Artax. Oh, okay. So it was a guy yelling at a horse named Artax in the never-ending story. A lot of childhood emotion in that scene. That is so great. I just love stuff like that. And here it is. Here you are, a grown adult, and your nickname is Artax the stupid horse. See, that's what I mean by you just never know stuff that you might do, good or bad, that might stick with someone and, really get them to, just to stick with them. And that obviously, that's very funny. Thank you for explaining that. Just think of all those you've passed that kindness on over the years. I do, Janet. I really do. And it's thanks to many people that were very kind to me after I left. I mean, it was amazing. And it still is. You guys are amazing. I mean, I'm just amazed. And I'm like, oh my God, I just feel so lucky. I went to Weight Watchers tonight because I check in once a month because I'm on their goal weight. So I go once a month instead of every week. And I was telling them the story about you guys. And I said, it's just I feel so lucky that I've met these people. They're just wonderful people. And it's just a whole interesting thing for me. And, they all thought it was really cool too. Okay, so AirTax, I love that movie. Oh, okay, so there's a movie about it. Do you think Osa got in trouble for getting... Oh, wait, remember to write a question if it's a question. Do you think Osa got in trouble for getting on the internet and starting this chain reaction of people waking up? It would be interesting to see how they would be today had you not been on the web. I think a lot of people got in trouble, but I don't think... Do you think Osa got in trouble for getting on the internet? Oh, I see, because they started the phony accounts. No, I think they think the phony accounts, I think they're still working. They're still using them because I see people doing their exact program. So I'm pretty sure they're still using the same plan and they think it works. It doesn't. I mean, it's been very, very well proven that it doesn't. But can they see that? And no matter how many times we tell them, no, they can't. They're right and we're wrong. That's the way it is. It just has to be that way. They're right, we're wrong. No matter how much, if they drowned, it would be like, we only drowned because Tori was standing there. That's why, or somebody else, one of the other SPs. It had nothing to do with them never learning to swim, falling into the water, which would be a PTS thing for them, stuff like that. But instead, they would blame it on one of the SPs. That's the way they are. And it's interesting because they're always talking about responsibility, but their total game is shame, blame. That's it. You think, all right, so let me just see if I missed anything here. it would be interesting to see how they would be today had you not been on the web. Well, I don't think I'm the only reason they were on the web, because Yachty was on the web before me. He just got me to open up more accounts so it could really, really go, he could really get his program going. And it would be interesting. Yeah, that's true. If they had just let the internet go, it probably, I have no idea. I really don't. Because they constantly screw up. And I've said that to people over and over. They go, well, I don't know if we should pick it because X, Y, and Z. And I go, look, believe me, Scientology always proves what we're saying. We don't have to think maybe they'll be here and they'll prove it. And they do it to this day with the swatting proof. Can we prove it? Not necessarily, but the very fact that it's always around Scientology buildings, the police are starting to get a hit on it. And you're going to look really bad, Scientology, in the end because of many things that you're doing and not listening to us. That's the way it is. That's their choice. I talked to a depression doctor about how helpful I find the SP community to be for my mental health. Good. And what you have to let us know what he said. Hopefully he understood, because that I'm glad to know that it helps. It does help to have other people that understand what you're going through. Especially Scientology and this whole thing. But any kind of abuse, it's very, because abusive people always do the same thing. They isolate, they insulate, they keep you separate from your friends and family so they can control you. That's what they do. And so it doesn't matter what kind of abuse it is, whether you were in Scientology or with an abusive husband or just feel shitty, and were born with some kind of depression or inherited it or whatever. It's like, it helps to have a community where, we're dealing with stuff that's more, it's just a community, and I'm glad you're here. I am. And I'm glad that you talked to him about it. And hopefully he's supporting it, because if he isn't, he needs to come on here and I'll talk to him. Tell him about what Scientology says about him. Okay, now, love it. Did you get Tori's address added to the Amazon? Good question. And someone else asked me if I got their emails, and I never did. And I don't know what to do on it. I keep looking for them and going back farther. Okay, we'll read the book art tags. Okay. Why would the FBI... People always say that. It's so funny. It's like I don't know what people think. I guess they just think the FBI would be in on anything where it's this abusive. And you're right. They should, but they don't. And I think I've been in it for so long and known they don't. They just don't. I don't know if they're paid off or if they have bigger problems or they just don't really see it as something. I don't know. I really don't. But they don't get involved. That's for sure. I think if enough, like what Streets said, who's Streets LA, who's a guy that's out on the street all the time. And he said, what's really going to make this change in any way is social media. It's like what we're doing right now. We're talking about it, sharing it with other people on social media. And thus, more people in society are going to get educated on what they're doing and then get more ticked off and go, wait a minute. When they see this swatting, they're going to go, that's my tax dollars. You know what I mean? That are going to this stupid thing that has nothing to do with the kids that are picketing. You know what I mean? So I think he's right. It's social media, because the police aren't going to do it and the FBI aren't going to do it. It's like they all have their fingers in different things, where if they go do this thing about Scientology, then whatever they have their fingers in is going to go up. Then we're going to have to do this thing about you. And so I think it's all snarled up. But social media isn't snarled up. And it is what it is. And it's pretty transparent. So I think we have a good shot at it. Anyway, that's my answer. Here's a question. Thank you for writing question, Sophie. I agree that OSA seems to keep using the same tactics and believe it. Do you think that the blindness will be their downfall? I think it's going to be like Al Capone with the mafia. I was in Chicago, not when he was there, but I know Chicago, and it's like they were really trying to come after him, and nothing like he was like, I own the town. Good luck. It's like go after the FBI. Good luck. Because that probably almost everybody in the city has some kind of connection there. Do you see what I mean? And they don't want to get in trouble with the FBI because then the FBI will look in their books, and that's not going to be good. So it's a tricky deal. So, but remember Al Capone, that one guy just came in and said, I'm going to be working here. And he looked like kind of a nerdy guy. And, it was sort of like Kevin Costner was like, really? And he said, yeah. And he started going through the books on the train and he went, I got it. They were looking over here and all of a sudden he realized it's nothing to do with that. There was tons of shit they had done that was wrong, but it was nothing they could prove. It's just like Scientology. There's tons of shit that they do, but can we prove it? No. But this guy came in and he found the tax evasion and he said, you know what? This is what we can get him on. And that was actually what he went to prison for. That was it. It was the one guy. So that's why I say we can do it. It's like, I don't know that. Do you think that the blindness will be their downfall? I don't think it'll be their downfall. It certainly doesn't help them. Do you know what I mean? Because it just, they stick out, I think, like sore thumbs. And, but that's me. If you guys don't, let me know. But to me, it seems kind of obvious. But I do think it's going to have to be somebody, or it could be AI. See, AI is very out of the box. You know what I mean? And they're taking all the information and they could come up with boom, and that could be it. I don't know what our future is, but we'll see. We will see. And in the meantime, it's very good for us that they're acting so blind. It helps our side. It doesn't hurt theirs. That's why I've always said tick tock, time is on our side. Why? Because the truth is on our side. We're willing to talk to anybody. I don't know about you guys, but me and most of my friends who are suppressive people that were ex-Scientologists, we'll talk to anybody. Come on over. We're not afraid of people because we're just talking the truth. They're trying to cover up any of this shit and say they're all great. And they know they're not. So that's never going to work. Eventually, it's going to catch up with them. All right. Oh, good. Okay. Love It says we're having people use Whole Foods Burbank as the address for if you get anything. I don't know how I find out if anything arrives, but I think they'd text me or something. Anyway, the community is key. Yes, I agree, Verity. I really do. And I enjoy seeing you guys every time I do. Okay, now this is for Love It. Do you want me to post the chat lines, the guidelines? You guys know these. Please use a complete sentence for context. No using the chat to promote other channels. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, Sophie, like Tori has been saying forever, they create their own enemies. I have since I was in. I told them that by their tactics, and they really don't seem to realize how this appears to the outside world. I know, it's really weird. That is a really good point, and it's ever weird to me. It's just sort of like, how could you not see this? It's just so obvious. You're using the Los Angeles people's tax money to swat these kids when it's all phony stuff. And I was there when they came. I sort of watched it on video and I thought, okay, maybe, it just seemed like really. And then I saw Jessica got handcuffed and I was like, holy shit, this is like real stuff. Because a lot of them I hadn't quite seen what happened. I just saw the helicopters and the fire department and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, what is this? But then I was there protesting, and the helicopter comes in and they've got the light on me. And DOA is like, all right, we're getting you in the car because they're going to get you. And I'm like, are you serious? It just was like, it's like being in some mafia movie or something. I was like, come on, you can't be serious that this is actually happening. And this helicopter is after me, Tori. It was just so weird. It was really, really weird for me. And they were really after him, it turned out. But the light was on me. And he threw me in the car. And then I told you I had on those red horns. And then they handcuffed him. And I thought, damn it, I'm not going to let my friend get arrested. And so I drove up there. I think I told you guys this. And I just went, you open the door. And the guy went, no, move on. Move on. And they just jumped in their cars. I've never seen cops drive off so fast in my life. And I told them later, and I still laugh about it. It's like, I think they thought I was his mother, and it was with horns on. And it was around Easter, and they were probably Catholic. They're like, get out of here. But anyway, things are getting better, I think, with the police. I'm hoping. I think the kids are getting better with them, and that helps. Okay. They can't shut us all up. That's right. See, that is a good point, Janet. That was the thing with Anonymous, too. It was like, go ahead. We're anonymous. We're wearing masks. You know what I mean? You don't have our names. You don't have our addresses. You can't sue us. And we're going to say what we want to say. And thank goodness they did, because boy, they really made a change. And just like you guys, I mean, it's like I have never seen ever every building, every Scientology building here in LA is floor to the ground. The windows are closed. I mean, they're closed, and the blinds are pulled down and you can't see in. And it's like, wow, they're really scared. It's like, how do they, to me, I remember when this came up before you guys, we were just protesting, and they put up blankets on the windows, and we called it blanket tech. And it was like, I said, I would never, ever be in a Scientology building. Excuse me. And if they put up blankets, I have to be outside. But they knew that about me, so they sent me out to handle the critics. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I'm not going to stay in here and be locked up. I'm amazed at how many people go along with that. I am. I mean, they're grown adults. It's like, I would say, no, don't put up these blankets on the windows. We want to be able to see out and see what these people are saying and doing. It's like, if Scientology works, right, we should be able to see out and confront anything. That's the truth of Scientology. You can confront anything, anywhere, anytime. Okay, so what's the deal with the blanket tech? Oh, no. You can't see that. You can't see that. No. Don't look out there. Oh, wait, you're in this window? Oh, no. Oh, this floor? No. These are all blocked off too. I mean, what the hell is that? How are you possibly saying they're cause over life when you're blocking everything off? I mean, how? I'm trying to find someone that's leaving that'll tell me, how are they justifying that? How? Because to me, it just looks like absolute insanity. Doesn't it? I mean, am I wrong? Or, I mean, to me, it just looks so creepy. But that's a good point, Janet Smith. They can't shut us up. All right. Now, here's something from Lynn. We're the lucky ones. We get to hear your voice again. You tell your story so well. Thank you. It's in honor of my grandfather. I mean, he was a great storyteller, and I inherited that. Thank you for your answer, Tori. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for asking. Okay, YRB. Okay, FBI has to be led by a strong Department of Justice directions. Okay, so addressing crimes against the regular people is low on their priority. The investigation has to be a bigger, huge topic. Yeah, I remember do you remember Heidi Fleiss? Any of you were you alive for that? She was a chick who basically screwed everybody. Everybody that was anybody in an executive position from the mayor on down. She was having sex with them. And she had a little black book with all of them in it. And so it blew up. And, I don't know if she got caught or something. But anyway, it ended up all over the papers and stuff like that. And then I'm protesting one of the wars. And Dr. Fleiss was my son's pediatrician. And I ran into Dr. Fleiss, and I had just read in a magazine. I'd never put it together. She's Heidi Fleiss. He's Dr. Fleiss, right? And it said Heidi Fleiss's father, Dr. Fleiss, dot, 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 dot. They told something about him, and I went, oh my God, it's my son's doctor. So I ran into him at a protest, and I said, Dr. Fleiss, how are you? All this stuff with Heidi. And he goes, yeah, it wasn't anything I was counting on, I'll tell you that. But he had a good sense of humor. You know what I mean? It was just like, what are you going to do? She did what she did, and that's the way it is. It's interesting. But yeah, that's a good point, YRB, that it has to be a huge topic, which, I mean, to me, it would seem like the shit these guys are doing is pretty huge, but I guess it isn't really in their world. Or I think it's different than that. I don't think it's that it has to be a huge topic. I think it's that huge people have to start speaking about it. And that's the problem, because a lot of huge people and huge corporations don't want them to come and look in their corporation. And that's where it gets snarly. And they have their own fingers in the pie, do you know what I mean, in different ways. So it's sort of like, it's tricky. But that's where I think social media can just hit it out of the ballpark, because we're here and we can say what we want and they can't stop us. I mean, they can come storming in my house, but good luck. Good luck on that one. All right. I love your comparison to Chicago gangsters. Yeah, me too. It was funny. Thank you, Sophie. It was funny because when I first left, that was a big deal for me. I was like, these guys are like the mafia. And the critics back then, who were people that were never in, said, Magoo, stop saying that. You're giving the mafia a bad name. Which I thought, that is really funny. Okay, a mugshot of Tori. There you go. Okay, now, YRB, what we white people need to figure out is that this type of police overreaction is not uncommon. In a way, this is the LAPD portion of the story that is also extremely important. Okay, we need to figure out that this type of police overreaction is not uncommon. I think it's not uncommon in the Black areas. I think that's what you're saying, because African Americans experience shit like this all the time. I don't know that they do the swatting, though. I don't. I know that in the gaming industry, they've had some problems with it, but I don't know that they do swatting. They do other police abusive shit, for sure. And this is the first time we're kind of experiencing it. And it's really creepy. It really is. Okay, this is Sophie. She was a pimp, Heidi. I remember the case she had to reveal her clients. Yeah, it was heavy. All right, this is Love It, Tori. Heidi, the madame, not the hooker. I love Dr. Paul Fleiss. Me too. What a great man. Yeah, he really, did he pass away? As far as I know, he's still alive. I hope he didn't pass away, but he's a great guy. He was wonderful as a doctor, as a pediatrician. Okay, now this is Mr. My Tony. Here you are. Hey, Tori, I've been catching up on some of your older interviews from 2000. You're ageless inside and out, truly ageless. It's the moxie. Yeah, it is kind of weird, isn't it? But I think it's kind of true for all of us. I do. I had a friend, I've maybe told this to you guys, but I had my friend Hector, who used to come to my parties, and we were all on staff at CC or around Celebrity Center in the 70s. And Hector would come in and he'd go, Tori, you don't look a day older than you did when we were at Celebrity Center, which was, 20, 30 years ago, right? And I'd say, Hector, none of us look a day older than we did back then. That's because we've all grown up together. So it's sort of like when you grow up with someone, you don't really see the change as you do. But anyway, thank you. Yeah, they're kind of fun to see, aren't they? They're definitely different. Definitely. And they're all on my YouTube site. So if you ever want to go listen to some, that's a good thing. YRB, yes, the money protecting money, right? They get most mafia and those types of tax evasions, right? And in those they're after. And it's tricky. See, what I told you, I went to that cult conference when I first escaped out of Scientology, and Stacy took me to it. And at the end, we heard these two little girls that were like 12, and they said they had been locked in a barrel for 2 weeks in their cult. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, their story, when you heard it dragged out, it was just like, this is just awful. And I said to Stacy, how could this possibly happen in the United States of America? I can't believe it. And she said, Tori, this country was founded on freedom of religion. So they're very, very tricky about it. It's not like they'll easily, change those things. And we see it. They give freedom of religion. They get all kinds of stuff. Oh, they wanted to be in Scientology. So, no, there's nothing we can do. And the mother's there. I want to talk to my son. He's on the Sea Org and he signed this contract. And they're like, well, it's a religion. There's nothing we can do because there is the separation of church and state, and you have to keep that per the laws. That's the way it is. So they're very like, we're a state and they're a religion. So that's why we have to get rid of the nonprofit status and even their religious status, because they're not really a religion, they're a business. Okay, now somebody up here, thank you, Acer211. Dr. Fleiss passed away in 2014. Oh, that's sad. But he lived a good life, and I'm happy I got to see him before he passed away because he was a great guy. And it was fun to see him at a protest. It was very fitting. Okay, Robert James is saying good night. It's after 3:30 in North Carolina. See you next time. Okay, thank you for coming by. Sleep tight. All right, now YRB, my mother used to say you don't grow old with your friends because your eyes grow old at the same rate. Yeah, kind of true. That's what I was saying. It's like, we all look different. Anyway, question. Hello, Tori. This is Sharon Gregg. How did any other information come about the person that hung the help sign on the window? No. I just hope they're okay. I'm sure they are. It's one of those where I think it was just the Sea Org screwing with the protesters. It's a distraction. Think about it. There were days where everybody was talking about the help sign. And I'm 99% positive if someone was really injured or hurt, somehow by now they would have said, all right, that's it. We have to call the fire, the police or, ambulance or something to come help them. So I'm pretty sure they're fine. Anyway, so I was going to tell you guys a little bit more about part 2 of the front groups. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about that. And if you have questions, you can ask them while I'm doing it. I told you about WISE, which is the business end of Scientology, but it's still under the umbrella of the Church of Scientology, even though it's a business, right? Because they report their statistics up every Thursday at 2. So there's that. And they have a lot of different businesses. That's why I said doctors, dentists, chiropractors, they go after them fiercely. I mean, fiercely. And they also use the Way to Happiness, which is their little booklet. I was trying to find one, but I can't find it. But it's just a little booklet, says the Way to Happiness. And it's basically like the 10, what are the things? The 10, it isn't the 10 agreements, it's the 10, you know, the 10 commandments. It's like the 10 commandments, like don't kill, be honest, be kind to each other. They're just like basic principles that we've all grown up with. That of course Hubbard now he did it. And what happened before, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they used to for years. They would go into these doctors, dentists, chiropractors offices, and they would say, look, we've done a survey in your area, and the big problem in your area is blah, whatever it was. Let's say it's, they're really worried about the drug scene. Okay, so if you buy these Way to Happiness booklets, we can get them out, and then everyone will see your name and address on the back. So it'll be kind of a promotion for you, and you're helping the community. They really had Regis that would hardcore sell this stuff. And they would fork out, $10,000, $20,000 and buy the books. And, who knows if anybody ever used them. I don't think so. But that was what they do with the doctors, to use that. And then they also start these wise businesses where now you're learning L. Ron Hubbard's way of running a business. Let's say you have your own way of running a business, but they come in and they go, we could really 2x or 3x, make much more money for you if you start using our system. And a lot of people are like, okay, we'll do it. Well, just come to I think this is a perfect example. Was this lady in, I think, the Midwest got a flyer saying that just what I said, 3x your business. And her husband was a doctor. So they said, okay, let's fly to Florida. We'll do the conference. It was a weekend conference. And she called me at the end and she said it was so amazing because we flew in the first day. They had him go in a room and her go in a room. So now they're in 2 separate rooms. And for the rest of the weekend, they just pounded on him and stayed on him. They didn't really talk to her. And at the end, he came out and he said, either you join Scientology or our marriage is over. And she, of course, was crying on the phone. And it was just awful. It's like, how could somebody do something like that? It's just so creepy. It's just so creepy. It's so anti-religious. Do you know what I mean? It's just really, really nasty. And, that's wise. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff they do. They get with these doctors. You've got to come in, use our stuff. And at first it all sounds great and you meet all these nice people and everything's wonderful. But, pretty soon you're having to run it their way or no way. And it's not a good thing. So don't get snarled up into it. And never buy the Way to Happiness because it's just total BS. I mean, you can get it for free in a Bible with the 10 Commandments. Read those. Why buy their book? Because it has L. Ron Hubbard in it, and all they're trying to do is get Hubbard's name thought of better. That's what their goal was with that. So we got Wise, which has they don't have that many businesses anymore because they just don't. Just like the churches don't have people in them. They're just much, much less. People have woken up themselves and they don't want to do it anymore. One of my friends, they had a huge business here and they moved up north. They're just like, no, you don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, really? They wanted to give me their mission. They had a mission at the time for $100,000. He said, this is worth $100,000. I said, no, I will not be under their thumb. No. And I knew if they wanted out, why would I take it? They couldn't make it work. So, okay, so we went over the Way to Happiness, which is just these stupid booklets that they sell to these doctors, dentists, and chiropractors. So don't get roped up into that. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights, do you guys know about that? That's their anti-psychiatry. So that's why I know 17 kids who've killed themselves now. Because they can't go anywhere to get any help. And not to a therapist, nothing. So I hate them. I don't hate them because I don't like the word hate, but I really I really like to expose them for who they really are. And applied classes we talked about last night, where they're just putting the study tech in all the schools. So if you're a parent, check with the schools. Just check and see, are they using any of the Hubbard management technology here? Find out, and if they are, then get on it. So we need to have a meeting. You need to get educated on it. And you can always go to Dave Turetsky's website, because he has a lot of information. It's like educational information. It's really good. And then Narconon, is their drug education. It's their drug program to get off drugs, so they say. But most of the people I know who know about Narconon say they actually take drugs there. They sell drugs, and it's just a mess. It doesn't work. So that's why you never hear about it much. Okay, and I've gotten a few people out of Narconon who've called me and said, please, Tori, help me, get me out of here. And so what I do is I call a police in the town, and I say, my friend is leaving Narconon, which is basically run by a cult. And I need your help. I want you to come down there and escort her out, because they won't necessarily let her out. And so they say, okay, we'll go. And they did. The first one, they got her out. And we were like, hey. I mean, it was really great because it was all on the internet and everybody was watching it. It was like, yeah, she got out. And the second one, the policeman said, no, we're not going. And I said, really? And I said, okay, why don't you give me your name and your title and your badge number, and then also give me your boss's phone number, because I'm going to talk to him tonight. And believe me on this when I say someone is going to help this woman get out of Narconon tonight. So it's either going to be you, or maybe you'll lose your job. So it's kind of like, think about it for a minute. Do the right thing or be right. Like right, but you won't do the right thing. And he said, okay, we'll go down there. And I said, thank you. So he went down and helped get her out. So those are the two where I helped get him actually literally physically out of Narconon. But I don't recommend it at all. Okay, now this is YRB. Back in the day, the reason for the separation of church and state was so that the argument about churches whose right would not be an issue. Okay, back in the day, the reason for the separation of church and state was so that the argument about churches whose right would not be an issue. Okay, so they'd separate it, because otherwise the churches could say, we have a right to lock these people in because we're a church and that's our right. So then the states went, no, wait a minute, we got to separate this. So we, I think that's what you're saying. But if it isn't, clarify it. Okay, and this is Ronnie Rose. I throw those stacks of happiness booklets away in the streets here in Clearwater. Yeah, we used to go, there was a place where they had how they had those little flyers where, famous places to go. At least they do here in LA. And of course, Scientology always had the L. Ron Hubbard life exhibition, that you could go to. Now, you have to know, they'd sent me out to do this with things they didn't want people to go to. And I didn't really do it. I said no, but I knew they did it because they got somebody else, because I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So I thought, okay, they did it. So we took a whole stack of them and pitched them. It felt good. It really did. It was like, good. And nobody's going to go over there. So there you go. So another one of it's on my list of suppressive acts. There you go. See? And I'm smiling too. I must be 1-1. See, that's their thing. That's their thing on the tone scale is anyone who's declared suppressive is, and anyone really who leaves, is automatically 1-1, which if you ever study the tone scale, Hubbard was very definite on, like if I'm overt, you can see 1-1 is covert hostility. So it's the picture is somebody standing with a knife behind his back, kind of smiling, but it's a kind of a creepy smile. He's kind of smiling and he's ready to jab you in the back. That's 1-1. I'm not 1-1. I always tell people, you don't like me, come up and just say you don't like me. I don't mind. I hate people. I don't like 1-1 people at all. But Scientology tries to pin that on every single SP that we're one. So me smiling because I'm laughing, and I'm truly, honestly laughing at them, that this is another one of my suppressive acts. I mean, it's humorous at this point. It really is. It's like, it's unbelievable that these people could think they could run a religion. But I have to remember, because I was training with some of the kids, and they're young kids and they're very uneducated. So they're probably who are running the church now with Miscavige, who also was very uneducated. So, it's like they don't really know what they're doing. And it's sort of like we see things and go, how could they do that? But then I have to remember those kids on course where the supervisor was going with the encyclopedia. Okay, come up here. Now, this here is Washington, D.C. So when you see LRH talk about Washington, D.C., that's where it is. And you're like, are you serious? These are people that are training to be auditors and they don't know where Washington, D.C. is? Yeah, it was really spooky for me. I mean, it really, really was spooky for me. But you have to remember, okay, that was 20 years ago. They're probably running the church now. And they were very uneducated. I mean, it was really scary. I mean, to a point where you just go, oh, come on. Come on. They don't know where Washington, D.C. is? They didn't. They had the encyclopedia to show them. Okay, Sophie, Scientology could be considered a right. I've said that to them for 24 years. Self-help business at a stretch, but definitely not a religion deserving the tax exemption. Do you think it's a partnership with the Mormons that helps them? Do you think it's a partnership with the Mormons that helps them? Do they have a partnership with the Mormons? That's news to me. I didn't know that if they did. But I've said that for years. As long as I've been out, I've been saying you should just stop saying you're a religion because you're not. Stop doing all the abuse because that nobody likes it and you're never going to win with that. I say cut out the OT levels because they don't work for 99% of the people that have done them, and just call it a self-improvement business. And I think you'd be one of the biggest businesses in the world. I really do. I think because people do like having talk therapy, and the lower grade stuff it's simple, it's easy, it's not complicated, and I think it could work. But I didn't know. You're saying, do you think it's that the partnership with the Mormons? So you let me know, Sophie, if there is a partnership. This is the first I've heard of that. Okay. This is Ronnie. Your older videos were a big help to me after 29 years in. Thank you. I've heard that for years. People have said that because, mine were some of the first ones out. And so they've helped a lot of people, and I'm really happy about that. That's why I keep them up. For a while, I thought, I'll just take them down, because I don't know how to do all the fancy stuff. And I thought, well, it's kind of basic stuff that I'm talking about all the way through it. So why not leave it up? And people keep saying, I watch it, I like them, leave them up, so okay. And here's Sophie question. Thank you for writing question. Wasn't there a lawsuit against Narconon because of some deaths? I think there was years ago, but it's been a while, and I don't have all the specifics on it. YRB, okay, here's my clarification. During the time of the revolution, many churches were fighting amongst themselves, sometimes violently. Okay, so I have a feeling there's a part B to that. The churches were fighting amongst themselves. Okay. So then how did that come up with the church and state that you got to finish it? Sophie, in Australia, they lost the case with the Taiwanese girl. Okay, you were talking to her privately. Sorry. Here's YRB. All right. Here we go. All right. So the Revolutionary War, many churches were fighting amongst themselves, sometimes violently, continued in order to have a chance of a government. The people that wrote the Constitution wrote out religion as being part of the government, so that there could be some kind of peace between towns. Okay, during the revolution, many churches were fighting amongst themselves, sometimes violently. This continued in order to have a chance of a government. The people that wrote the Constitution wrote out religion as being part of the government. Okay, so I see. So religion originally was part of the government, and then they wrote it out saying, no, there's church and state. Okay, so there'd be some kind of peace. I gotcha. Yeah, I think you're right. That was my understanding of it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. All right. Okay, here we go. Sorry, Tori. I've seen how the Mormons are in government, etc., and Scientology have partnered with them on the level of religious protection. Okay. Separation of church and state. Yeah. Yeah, that's true for all the cults. Okay. But they're not really partners with them. That's a little different thing. They agree with them and they support them, but they're not partners with them. That's the thing I want to make sure, unless they are. If they are, let me know. But I think you're just saying they partnered in that they're agreeing with them about religious protection. And that's Scientology. Scientology told me that when I was in. We got to get in with these religions. What do you think the partnership between CFS and the Nation of Islam? I made the first video on that, actually, because I heard Louis Farrakhan said, all of you are going to be on course tonight, or we're going to thank you and say goodbye. And I heard that, and I went, I knew he was in Scientology, so I fired up my webcam and made this video to the African-American community and said, basically, I just want you to understand something. They don't care about you at all. I was in for 30 years. There were 5 Black Scientologists in Scientology for 30 years. So that tells you how much they care about your community. Louis Farrakhan, what he's doing, I have no idea. But I highly recommend you really look into it before you join it. And I said they're basically looking for people, bodies in the shop, money, and connections. That's it. That's all they're looking for. And they thought, okay, these are guys that have money and connections, so let's get them in. And I think my friends think this too. That doesn't mean it's true. We think that they're 2 failing cults, because Nation of Islam also is failing. And it's not all of the Nation of Islam. It's Louis Farrakhan's little cult within the Nation of Islam cult. So anyway, I made my video. I put it up on the internet. And the next day, my friend called me and she goes, turn on the TV. You're not going to believe it. And I go, what? And I turn on the TV. And there's a guy, a Black guy. And his view, he said, I don't know, I think Louis Farrakhan flipped out, but he's joined Scientology, and we're going to have on an expert to explain it to us. And they put on my little video in my bedroom like this. It was so funny. It cracked me up. And then a year later, another lady called me, and she'd written a book on Scientology and the Nation of Islam. And she said, do you realize that your video has gone viral in the Black community? And I said, no, I didn't. I mean, why? What's the big deal? And she said, you're the only one who spoke about it. You're the only one that made a video about it. So it's gone everywhere, and a lot of people have watched it, and it's helped a lot of people not join Scientology. And I was like, I'm good. Those little snakes. The same thing happened with the gay community. They were like, oh, we welcome the gays. Now, when I was in, and you can read, excuse me, you can read in Science of Survival, where Hubbard kind of breaks down the different tone scales, but tone levels. But 1-1, he has homosexuals and anyone with a neurological illness. Moi. So I understand what they lived through in Scientology, because they've treated me like shit too. So, but then they realized somewhere in the 2000s that gays have a lot of money and they're smart and they have a lot of connections. So they were like, well, Scientology Celebrity Center welcomes the gay community. And luckily, I have a few friends that are gay and they have big connections. And I called them up and said, look, I just want you to spread this around. No, they do not. Well, because I've known people who've lost all of their money spending it in Scientology with them trying to fix them being gay. So it's like, no, I'm not going to let this go down. So I called my friend. He let the community know. I mean, they have a fast, quick, 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 quick. And that was it. I was like, I don't think anybody walked in the door there. So there you go, Scientology. You think I'm suppressive? You have no idea. Look at all these wonderful people that are my friends. There you go. All right, what do you think? No, wait. Okay, that we already did that. Now let's see. YRB. When in education, I called this very patchwork education, and you had to create a complete quilt out of the mess of knowledge. I understand. Yeah, very, very true. Okay. Please like it, everyone. Make sure you like it. There's 120 people here. All right, we're rolling. And Sophie said, yes, Tory partner was the wrong word. Okay. I love how you explain everything. Okay, I just want to make sure, because if they are partners, that's a different thing. And I kind of wanted to know that. But I had a feeling that's because they had told me when I was in, they said, Tori, we've got to get into all these churches and get them on our side. And what we're going to do is tell them if they don't support us, this is going to happen to them. And this is when, the picketers were outside and stuff, not anonymous, but people before them. And they kind of threatened them and said, if you don't help us, this is going to happen to your church. And I don't think anybody came with them. It was just kind of, luckily people like me ended up out there where I was talking to the ministers. And, I told you about the minister meeting that they had where they tried to just totally screw the guy that was a critic and a minister. And I nailed him with my SP Declare. See, use your own shit. It's like, all right, if they're so great and man has the inalienable right to free speech and free thought, then how come I can only speak to one person? Bingo. Okay, now what is this? Hello, Miss Tori. Love your earrings. Thank you. Elaine, thank you very much. I love jewelry. I really do. Thank you for caring. That's a nice thing to say. Fluffer Squirrel from UK. And I saw you tonight at the show, too. That was fun to see you there. I was like, I know her, Fluffer Squirrel. By the time we meet, it's going to be so funny because I feel like I know it. It's true for all of you guys. When we finally meet, it's like, oh, my God. All right. Now, this is a question. But thank you very much for that. That's very nice, Fluffer Squirrel. And thank you for coming on my site. It's really nice. Question. I've recently started seeing a chiropractor for my scoliosis. How would I ask to find out if they're in bed with Scientology? I wouldn't want to support that. I would just, like I've said, my way of doing that, and you're right, because you don't want to say, are you a Scientologist? Because that's sort of weird. And they'll lie about it anyway. So my way is to just say, do you guys by any chance, and say it kind of in a positive way. It's like, do you by any chance use the Hubbard management technology? And usually if they do, they'll be very proud. They'll go, yes, we do. And then it's up to you, what you want to do. If you like the chiropractor, probably stay with them. But because, it doesn't really matter how they're managing their business. It matters to you as far as if you're getting help. And if they're helping you, that's one thing. But I can see your point if you don't want to help any money go to Scientology, because a little bit of it will, but not much. Mainly you want to find a chiropractor that helps you. And that's my advice. All right. Oh, and also you said, how could you find out? Just ask them, do you use the management Hubbard? Have you ever, kind of like this, have you ever used the L. Ron Hubbard management technology? I'm just curious. Not like, are you using it? Because for someone like him, he might be like, why are you even asking me that? But you could just say, I'm just curious. Have you ever used the Hubbard management technology? And if they are, they'll be like, yes, or we were just about ready to buy it. They're selling this $10,000 package and we're going to get it. And then I would say, then I need to have a little talk with you because I know some stuff that you don't know. And, it's basically a scam and you got to let them know it. But anyway, ask them first, find out. All right, bottoms up. LRH's belief that South Africa is a promised land during apartheid says all you need to know about Koss racial beliefs. LRH's belief that the South African is the promised land. Did he say that? See, I don't remember reading that. So I'm like, okay. South Africa was a promised land during apartheid, says all you need to know about Koss racially beliefs. I don't know what Koss racially beliefs, what that means. What I'm missing something on Koss. So bottoms up, if you could explain what that means, Koss. Maybe there's a definition. I'm thinking of cost like cha-ching, you spend some money, and it's racial beliefs. It doesn't add up. So tell me what you're talking about. All right. YRB in Los Angeles in San Bernardino County, early Mormon settlements paved the way for acceptability of cults in Southern California, particularly. I believe that. Yeah. Yep. They've been around. A lot of cults have been around for a long, long time, a frighteningly long time. All right, now let me check here. Ooh, Doug from Clearwater. All right, here we go. Come on, chat. Hit the like button. Let's get those numbers up. Thank you, Doug. You sweetheart. Yep. I can't see the like button, so I don't know. Thank you, Sophie. That's nice. Tori always brings the truth. I try to. I really do. I believe in sticking to truth. It's sort of like it just is. Okay, Sophie says, I'm not going to lie. I was shocked when I heard about Nation of Islam using Scientology. Seemed so strange to me. Me too. Believe me. Believe me on this. When I heard it, I was like, what? And, we're going to thank you and say goodbye. That's disconnection. That's like saying either you're in Scientology on course Tuesday night or you're out. And I just thought, oh my God, I got to say something about this. And I did. And, then Lynn and I, my friend Lynn, we went out. We heard they were having a meeting out in a community center out in Inglewood, which is a Black African-American area. And I thought, a community center? I've never even heard of a community center. And I've been to Inglewood a bunch because I used to sell jewelry out there. And I thought, I don't know, something sounds fishy. And I said to Lynn, let's go out there. So we go out there, and there's the community center. And here's all these people lined up, locked out. And I say, let's go across the street and find out. And like a professor had flown down. She was going to go talk to the Skid Row people and try to help them. And they were meeting in Scientology because it was a community center. I don't know how that came about. But she said, this has nothing to do with Dianetics. So they locked them out. Doesn't have anything to do with Dianetics? Get out. You just think, again, how stupid is that? It says community center and you lock people outside. And I said to her, to the professor, I said, what, we could go eat, just eat at a restaurant and meet, kind of have a meeting there. And she said, no, we're going to stay right here. And I got it when she said it. She wanted the community to see that this community center of Scientology had locked these people outside. It was like, they never stop in their idiotic stuff. It's like crazy. All right, now here's one from Danny Ellie Illuminati. All right, yes, exactly. I don't want my money trickling down to Scientology in any way. There are plenty of chiropractors out there to try. LOL. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, for sure. If you have a concern on that, all I'm saying is if you love the guy, it isn't, it's not like you're directly paying the Church of Scientology, you're paying the doctor. He might be on some kind of a program with them, but if you really liked him, I'd say stay with him. But if you don't, like he said, there's tons of other chiropractors. And what I would do for any doctors is I would just say, do you guys by any chance use the L. Ron Hubbard management technology here? I do that all the time. And very rarely do they say yes. But often they'll go, no, why would I use that? It's an interesting response. Okay, so bottoms up. Costs is C of S. So it was a typo. Okay. Now I don't remember what you were saying. Costs. I think it's too far away. You're going to have to rewrite it. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Bottoms up. LRH's belief that South African is the promised land during apartheid says all you need to know about the C of S racial beliefs. Okay, that helps. That definitely helps. Thank you. Because it was like, I don't get it. I thought maybe there's some secret word to cost that I don't know about. Okay. All right. LRH used different words, but it comes down to the promised land. You can find it in the email to you. Okay. LRH used different words, but it comes down to the promised land. Okay, good. Yeah, I'd like to read it. That'd be good. Sophie. All right. Tori, how do the Scientology front groups you've mentioned prove that they help the community, therefore deserving tax exemption because they give back to the society in place of state? That's a good question. See, Scientology's, how that would work, I think, is Scientology's tax exemption is under the Church of Scientology. And these front groups are all under the umbrella of the Church of Scientology. That's how we got Narconon kicked out of every high school in the state of California. Because they were covertly there teaching drug education. Now, I can see on Scientology's side, they're like, so what? They're teaching them about drugs. But you and I know it never goes just like that. It's not like we're just teaching them about drugs. We're teaching about drugs, and then we're going to get them on course and join the Sea Org or whatever. And that's why we got them kicked out. And it was a violation of church and state. The high school is a state. Narconon is under church. They report directly. And this was my quote that got them kicked out. Every Thursday, they report directly to the top lines. And so that proves they're not separate. They can say they're separate. They can be in a separate building, but they're not separate. They're under the same umbrella. And that's it. So we really need to get rid of the Church of Scientology International's, their tax exemption, because that's really what will do them in. Because all these other ones are just, front groups. I watched all, okay, here's someone, yay. I watched all of your 10 of your escape from Scientology videos from years ago. Hey, okay, good, good. And hopefully you liked them. Everybody that I know that's seen them has liked them. It's an interesting story. YRB, I think I found a new front business for Scientology called Voyage LA that wants to be like a network for entertainment ad, talent ad, ugly investment specialists. Oh God, I think I found a new front business for Scientology called Voyage LA. I think if they were going to do Voyage LA, which sounds like travel, they would have, or even the entertainment. They've got CC for the entertainment. And see, the thing is this, they don't want other people, making too much money with other things than Scientology. So they're trying to get them into Wise, where they're not really making money there, but this is a whole nother thing. Might be. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to promote it to them, because I think if they were going to do it, they would have done it. I always get a laugh when Tori says, ha ha. Getting Narconon out of lots of schools is awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, SP Articus. I am. Thank you. Because it is. It was really great. And I was really proud of it. It was really, obviously without Dave Turetsky, who's a professor at Carnegie Mellon, and without a bunch of people that helped out, it wouldn't have happened. It's not like I did it. But I was proud of being part of it. It was really, I was mostly proud of that it got out of the high schools, because it just was a direct link to Scientology. And it's like, no. But that's why I try to tell people, because if they got it in every high school in the state of California, they're going through other states doing this stuff. So that's why I'm saying, if you're a parent, ask, find out. Do you use the Hubbard management technology here at all? Do you use Way to Happiness? Do you, sniff around for Narconon? Find out. Applied Scholastics, are they using the study tech? Because it's like, you need to know. And if you don't know, just like all these high schools, think about that. The kids were just getting semi-brainwashed. Okay. My Tony is here. I'm happy. All right. And okay, so I think we're at the end of, that's it. I think that's it. And I think that's it for the front group, unless you guys have some questions about any of them. Because CCHR, that's the only one I haven't brought up much, but they're totally against any medicines at all. And I think originally, because I know my husband's parents were in 1950, and originally they were Dianeticists, and then Hubbard switched it to the Church of Scientology. And when that happened, a whole bunch of the Dianeticists said, screw this, we don't want to be part of a church, we're out of here. And they left. And I think that's when Hubbard brought in PTSSP, because then he had to draw the line, you cannot talk to those people, the Dianeticists that left. If you talk to them, you'll be declared suppressive, you'll lose all your friends and your family, yada. And they're evil people. And, the very fact that back then they went along with it is just amazing. But it's amazing to me that we did too. And I was talking to someone today that was in, and I said, I was talking to Phil Jones, and I said, I don't remember knowing that many people that were declared. Did you? And he said, no, that was the weird thing. It's like when you're in, you only know like maybe 4 or 5 people that have been declared suppressive. That's it. And so you think, well, this isn't much. It's bad, but it's not really bad. But then you get out and you just find out there's thousands of people that they've declared suppressive, and organizations and churches. They have a list. You can type in SP list of SPs for the Church of Scientology, and it's huge. It's pages and pages and pages. So, you know, it's like, that's what I think. He had to draw the line, but people now don't know anything about that. So they just think it's, he's PTS or he's SP, whatever. On and on and on it goes. But it was interesting to hear Phil also didn't know many. Shannon did a great video regarding the Chicago front business. Dream something. Okay, good. Good. I don't know who Shannon is, so that doesn't really help me. Fluffer Squirrel UK. My Tony. All right. And here is the front business. It's run by people she regularly sees entering the C of S Chicago. Wow, good. And she's got a business about it? Okay. Coffee and Magoo, early morning vibes of mine. This is haiku. I've got to get that thing about a coffee. There's some kind of an app about a coffee that's supposed to be cute. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's it. Unless you have a question for me, I'm going to end off and go to bed a little bit early tonight. It's a miracle. Coffee and Magoo. Yeah. Good. Okay. So I'll send you the link to their site in your email, because the people that attacked DOA. Oh, this is a thing about them? Do you have some information on that? Okay, good. Need 9 more likes to make the math start mathing. All right, 9 more people. Okay, let's see. So there's 9. Let's see. You have to let me know. Okay, so there's night. Good night. Thank you for streaming for us all and educating us more. You're very welcome. I hope it helped a little bit. And keep your eyes open for their front groups. And make sure to ask. And for parents, make sure they check. Oh, good, Christina. Thank you. She loved this. That's good. Thank you. All right. Okay, Bottoms Up says, thanks, Spartacus. I just woke up, so I can't remember details. Good night, Magoo. Somebody said good night. Good night, Magoo. Hope you have a marvelous day. Thank you, and you too. I will. Yeah, and it's Friday. I've got a couple of surprises coming my way. All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful day tomorrow. It's Friday. That's right. It's Friday now. It is. Woo-hoo. All right, good. So have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend if I don't talk to you, but I think I will. Somehow I'll sneak something in. All right. Well, good night and thank you for coming. Yeah, Friday. Friday. Have a wonderful night, Tori. Thank you. Thank you. 133. Woohoo! We made it above it because there's 124 in it and 133 likes. Thank you, Kimberly, for letting me know that. I appreciate it. And thank you, all of you, for liking this video. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And Fluffer Squirrel, should I send anybody over there? Do you want people to come over there? Because I think it's the daytime for you, right? You have to let me know. Say yes or no. Fluffer Squirrel. Because some of these guys are up, and then we could do the raid thing where they can raid over to your place. Hello. Okay, she's not answering. Oh, you can go check it out. Fluffer Squirrel UK. She said good night, so maybe she's going to bed too. I don't know. It seems like it's daytime tomorrow. Good night and good morning on the East Coast. Love and hugs, Tori Magoo 44. Thank you, Kimberly. Good night, Nancy Drew. My grandchildren slept over, waiting for them to wake to start the wonderful day. Oh, how fun is that? Well, have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Okay, well, I'm going to say goodnight. If you want to go over to Fluffer Squirrel UK and see if she's jumping, go over there. And if she isn't, then have a good night and a good day tomorrow. All right, I made it to 135 likes. That's pretty good. That means some extra guys are watching. And for you guys, the way out is the nearest door. Remember that. Take it. Go outside, call me. I'll come get you. All right, good night to you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much. Okay.